to tell the story of poverty, how they were born into poverty, how they went through hell to get to where they are in life. But instead of them to become empathetic, to have sympathy towards the people who are still left in that cell, they are more interested in never going back into that poverty. Since majority of them are damaged, they become narcissistic. They become sociopath and psychopaths too. So they become mean, deadly, and when they want it, if it will lead to killing people for it, they don't care. And if it will even take to kill more people to keep it, they don't care, because what they are afraid of is the poverty. Damaged people who believe that they can steal enough for their generations unborn. You have been saying that. I mean, a lot of us have said that many times. Oh, Nigerian politicians, whenever they loot more, and they loot money for their unborn generations. Isn't that sick to believe that somebody can loot and keep that loot for the unborn generations because he is so afraid to see himself or any of his own children to experience what he experienced or what she experienced? So you're so scared that they become mentally deranged, believing that they will live forever by stealing enough for their unborn generation. The generational wealth of so many generation of wealthy people in the world, where you can really easily trace the source of their wealth to maybe about 6, 7, 10, 11 generations. I'm talking about up to 10th century, 11th, 12th, and 13th century. You could trace them back. They will tell you how their forefathers came about wealth. They say, oh, we have been I'm just using that too. We have been Lever Brothers from the UK since 1805. So we started as so and so, then we went to so and so. That's how generations of Lever Brothers, they will tell you, that's how we made our fortune. Do you get that now? But in Nigeria, sick people, very sick, dark-minded people, they believe the amount of money they can steal from the public purse, that they can keep away, so that their own children, unborn generation, they don't need to work again in their life. That is it's not a black man's mentality. It is a sick people's mentality. And some of you have managed to normalize it like a normal chart. Man, Nigerian politicians are very bad. Man, they have looted money that generation unborn, they will never have to work again. But we have seen a lot of them who looted in the 80s, in the 90s, in the early 2000s. Their generation that have now been born, majority of them have been born into poverty. Save for when they say, oh, now my papa be the senator that moved the motion for the passage of 2001 budget, but he died in 2007. And then the entire thing that he brought together with the stolen wealth and this public looting, the whole thing have scattered away. The wives have scattered, the family have broken up, everybody, except for when they meet their old papa's friends. Oh, are you not Omojua's son? Sorry, what's your name? Oh, my name is Suraju Omojua. Oh, are you Suraju? Is that the same Senator Omojua from Ekiti? Oh, your father is a very nice man. You know, we're together in PPT in the 1980s. Even when he became senator, you remember that your father was the one that moved the motion for 1989 budget. Yes, sir, I remember, sir. What are you up to now? Sir, everything is, apart from the names, I don't get anything left. But you still see people who believe that they will loot and deny the present, denying you your own needed living. They deny you that because according to them, they are keeping the money. You don't know, they are keeping the money for their unborn generations. Isn't that sick? Do you really think logically that is not a serious sickness when people believe they could keep away some money, not invest it, not like building businesses that in 100 years' time, the business will still exist and their unborn generation, they will be born into that wealth. That is not what they are doing. What they are more interested is what? In their sick mind. A sick man decided to pay 840,000 US dollars for his own son up to 2034, 10 years in advance. When if that money is clean, is sweat, he could put the money in trust fund for the boy. But the money is not clean. And since it is so available, he is a sick man, very, very sick. He decided to approach the school of his own son and said, come, I want to pay the school fees of my son that is possibly just 1 year old now. And so I will pay the school fees until 2034 when my son will become 11 years old. A sick man. So when you defend them and you say, oh, they are so greedy, they are so wicked. No, they are sick. And what you should do for sick people to help them, especially those ones that have committed crime, you send them to psychiatric homes, psychiatric hospital, psychiatric prison, where they are serving their jail term. They will be receiving help, mental health help. So they will make them realize that you can have 100 houses. And I mean, even if you have a mansion with 100 rooms, you can't sleep you can't sleep in more than one room. You can only sleep in one room at a time. If you sleep here in 1 hour and you go to another room, you want to sleep in 1 hour, but they will know you are sick, you are mentally deranged. They will tie your hand, tie your leg, and take you for care. So why are you trying to excuse this sickness? Now, if you now know that these people are actually sick people, you are not going to defend them. You are going to seek help for that. And that is why, this is another one. I do ask myself to, like, if you see the kind of effort that the Nigerian politicians put into their charade that they call election. I'm talking about the efforts like the amount of money, the amount of violence, bribery, manipulation, intimidation, like violence. And then you ask yourself and say, come, maybe the intention is to come and serve people, not to be served. What now require all of this violence, this amount of money, bribing and buying, you know what I mean? Like, only for you to now get to that power. and completely become a total stranger, or to the people, or the people themselves become total stranger to you. Well, I want to, but you don't see these people, their problem is too much. What do they want me to do? I have not even paid the salary of those who are living. Some people that are like living dead, they are protesting for salary. That's what one governor said about pensioners when he was governor. That guy is your president today. Tifnumbu, another sick man. Take a look at this. Just in character now, right? Somebody said, Kolu, who promised them millennium schools in 1999. I will build 20 millennium schools in 20 local government area of Lagos State. But he actually managed to build 3 of them, okay? And he never touched that again until the entire thing was turned to Jeun Soke, go to Jeun Sapo, and stuff like that. They have what do you call so much, or access to so much money due to the Lagos, as you know, as the what they call it again, the financial capital of West Africa or Nigeria. So the commercial hub or commercial center of Nigeria, where things are actually happening because of their seaport, as well as their busiest international airport. So the federal presence there is, it's a big plus, and they milked it. So in Lagos State, like everywhere else, right? They have Ministry of Finance. So the Ministry of Finance also have what they call the Lagos State Inland Revenue Service or something like that, right? LSR something. So their job is to collect taxes for the government. So in order to harness the opportunity of the commercialness of Lagos, a young man developed a template. To him, he was being patriotic, and that is to reduce wastage in the tax collection and all of that, corruption within, to stop all of that corruption, all right? So they wanted to digitalize the tax collection in Lagos. So they developed this idea, and then they called it remitter. Is it even remitter? No, remitter is the one they used to collect the money. Anyway, so this guy now approached Tifnumbu's government. So this is the idea, right? Now, if you use this template, okay, it will reduce wastage, it will reduce corruption, it will reduce blah, 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 right? So Tifnumbu's government took that idea and said they would get back to him. They never got back to him. But something happened. They removed the guy's name, removed everything and all of that, okay? They didn't have the whole concept. You get that? I did not have the whole concept, but it was a great idea that could have improved, which actually improved the revenue generation for Lagos. So this beautiful idea got into the hand of Tifnumbu and his gang, and then they turned it around. Okay, so what it now did was that these guys made a proposal to collect 5%, that they will help Lagos State to collect the revenue. They will show them, okay? And this system can be integrated into their revenue collection agency and all that, right? But that wasn't the plan. That wasn't Tinubu's plan. It was actually like somebody gave him the key to how he can control the entire tax collection in Lagos. Okay? Determine what is due to government. All right? And then what is due to him. So it's a two-way thing. So when he got that, so suddenly they pushed the guy out and they implemented their own plan. Exactly like I said it, right? Because he's the governor. And since he managed to get Fashola Di Saleh Barack Obama as his successor, so that one just went, accelerated the approval. The Lagos State Inland Revenue, the ones collecting the taxes in Lagos, the corrupt one, right? So they couldn't do the job. So the government now awarded the contract to this Tinubu's tax collection agency under the arrangement that they will collect all taxes for Lagos, and Lagos State will give them 30% of whatever they collect. So back then, indeed, under Tinubu, there was actually no real money to collect until Fashola came and it was pretty much like implementing it, and it worked. So from somewhere around $13 billion, Naira a month, they just jumped to over 20 billion a month. Oh, that was good. But that was what they are telling people of how much they have collected. Now, in all of this, Magbo, the idea was to have more money and be able to implement people's people sort of oriented projects like roads, like power, something that will even give you more money. At the end of the day, with Tinubu, with Fashola, at Ambodeo, with the current one here, there, at the Gator, none of them could give Lagos States a drinking or drinkable public water. The entire mega slum has no drinking water provided by government. In fact, it's a foregone deal. You have to dig your own borehole. What did they do? They imposed tax on people who decided to dig their own boreholes. In Lagos, you would have to pay for having a borehole in your house. So at the end of the day, again, like I said, he has acquired for himself 3 different private jets, including a Gulfstream, right? He has acquired for himself 2 different proxies, half of the lands and choice properties or lands in Lagos. He has, and including his family, they've acquired enough for themselves in and outside Nigeria. Tinubu that has no real job has over 10.5 million pounds sterling house in the UK here. The other 2 girls, Remi's daughters, one in New York, I think the second one is in California also, I'm not sure. These are children who have never really worked in their lives, but to their names, they have, both of them combined, they have over 5 to 6 million worth of properties to their names in America, right? So they have all of this. But it is not really enough, okay? He was able and has been successfully able to use the Lagos State money, this same person, Lagos State money, to construct a road halfway, put a toll on it, and has been collecting toll on that until they kill people there. Okay? So, when you take a look at all of this, and they are not caught, they have not been caught, right? Or they have not been declared wanted, okay? However, when you now look out, somebody is on So there's this young guy in on Twitter, right? And they are currently dragging themselves. If Peter B built a school, so I didn't build school. They are doing that. So the table has now turned to say, can anybody post all the pictures of schools in Lagos? Take numbers, Lagos. The entire internet is saturated with, oh dear, so many terrible pictures of the state of the schools across Lagos states. But they have the media. They have all of the PR that are rolling all this propaganda out to paint them who they are not. But for those who are really inside them, they will be like, okay, if these guys are not really sick, that same guy is your president today, okay? And from record, apart from owning half of the entire place, when I talk about in value, right? He is not done. So the first action is going to take to tackle road infrastructure in Nigeria was to use its position illegally to approve a road project that is like a half of the entire Nigeria budget, right? They have no money also, but he has unilaterally sort of moved 1 trillion naira, over 1 trillion naira into the account of his friend's company so that they can construct a kilometer of road for 22 billion naira. And they want to construct 44 kilometers of that from the Lagos Amadu Bello way to the junction of Lekki between Ogun and Ondo. Now, at the end of the day now, right? So this is going to be like them say, oh, yeah, we can take more. More for what? More money for, like I listed all these things now, right? I am talking about not just Tifnumbu, the, what do you call it? Not the 60 Tifnumbu now. I'm talking about this greed that is more like mental health problem, okay? That you can ask yourself, they seem to own the world, but they want more. And even when they say they want more, the more they want is just stuff that will hurt people more. But they don't care. They will still push it. And there's never going to be any time that you're going to feel like it's enough. It's never going to be enough. It is about people who are addicted, the addicts. Until they get help, it is not enough. Then if you go after, I mean, if you sort of slide up a bit and go and check on those who also uses their time to defend them, and the way they, the way they sort of see the whole thing, like somebody stole 80 billion, for example. I mean, you should first be alarmed. I would like to ask him, did you do it? Like, I would like to see your face and say, did you do it? Before I would go out there and say, oh, some people are just trying to bring him down. Bring you down from where? So that is where the other sick Nigerians, that's where they come in. Because you have a country of sick people. You need help. I know a lot of you are not you are not really wired that way. You are not wired to actually see that you need help. If for any reason, personally, when the news like this pops up about these rogues who have done on the unthinkable that some of you have managed to normalize, tell me that your first feeling is some of his political enemy are just after him. It's not the only one that is stealing. Why are they after him? Tell me if your first reaction is that. Like, if that is your first reaction. See, my ego is not that I'm supporting them. What I'm saying is that there are other thieves. You can see that all this whole thing is just political. Can you go? Can you come? But calm. Like, did you hear what they said just happened? This guy paid $840 million, and there are receipts. Sorry, my friends on TikTok. You may not be able to see this, but you probably should be on Facebook, okay? You understand? Oh, there are received. Like, why would this guy do this? And your first reaction is, oh, Baba, leave story, Joe. Is it the only person? But I want to seek in should I get an interpreter to interpret this to some of us? Yeah, I'm speaking directly to you now. Like, think about this. So person has been declared wanted because they stole $1 billion. And your first reaction is, well, see all these things. I don't believe that, Jare. It is because he criticized Ifnumbu. That is why they are coming for him. This is not lying against him. This is them telling you what they have done. If you are not, for some, like, alarmed, which is so rare today, majority of you are just not really bothered because you've seen this countless times. So there is nothing after it. So to you, it's a waste of time. I understand that one. That means you have grown sort of like cold when it comes to exposing